We are so excited for you to join us this morning. We've got people starting to come in to the building, and there is time for you to still get here or to get comfy and get ready to watch online.
Yeah, and a special thanks to John Crocker and his team at the Hydrant Food Pantry. Yesterday we were able to meet the needs of 68 families.
Wow, so many.
That is just
Absolutely.
Great thanks to those who volunteered. Thanks for you guys who donated food.
Yeah.
Please see John, and we can get you back on the team next month when we do Food Pantry again. But what I'm most excited about today, Liz, is chili.
I know. I'm more excited about the cornbread, but chili is today.
I don't know. I like corn chips.
I'll see if I can get some for you. Yeah. Today is chili cook-off, so if you are looking for something to do this afternoon, come and celebrate Thanksgiving with us in a unique way. We'll have a chili cook-off right here in the building. 5:30, come and eat and just enjoy time together. If you want to enter in a chili to the contest, you're welcome to. If not, just come and eat. There's going to be plenty of food for everybody.
Yes, I'm bringing my family recipe of 14 generations.
What?
I'm kidding.
No.
I'm kidding. This is something I just made up.
Yeah,
I
we
was
can tell.
actually put my hands in my eyes, and I'd use some jalapenos because I like the spicy ones. And I put it in my eyeball, and it
smart.
burned all night last night.
That was smart. What do you have for worship for us today?
So today we have a few songs, a couple of, jalapeno does go into chili, you're right. Oh, not my eye, okay. No, today worship is, we're expecting great things from worship today. We got David back on the drums, and he's been doing a phenomenal job.
And new drums.
He is, oh yes, we have new drums.
New drums.
That's right, I forgot. I worked really hard on those things.
You did.
But no, it's just we are expecting great things. We expect God to show up and the Holy Spirit to meet us in this place today.
Yeah, we're so excited. So get here if you're not here yet, or get comfy on your couch. We're going to get rolling here very, very soon.
Good morning. There, I can hear myself now. There we go. Hey, how's everybody doing this morning? Let's stand and worship. It's not done yet, church. God of the promise, God of the future, you see beginning and end. God of the rescue, God of the breakthrough, great is your faithfulness. You're not done yet. No eye has ever seen, no ear has ever heard, no one could ever comprehend. Your word will be enough, your promise we will trust. Greater things are still ahead. You're not done yet. You're not done yet. God in my seeking, God in my dream, you put a song in my soul. God in the working, God I believe, do the impossible. Hey! You're not done yet. Oh no. No eye has ever seen, no ear has ever heard, no one could ever comprehend. Your word will be enough, your promise we will trust. Greater things are still ahead. You're not done yet. You're not done yet. You're not done yet. You're up to something right now. You're doing a new thing right now. So God, let your glory come down. Don't hold back, don't hold back. 'Cause you're up to something right now. Doing a new thing right now. So God, let your glory come down. Don't hold back, don't hold back. You're doing out right now. You're breaking chains right now, right now. So God, let your glory come down. Don't hold back, don't hold back. No eye has ever seen, no ear has ever heard, no one could ever comprehend. Your word will be enough, your promise we will trust. Greater things are still ahead. You're not done yet. You're not done yet. You're not done yet. Oh, greater things are still ahead. You're not done yet. Give 'em a hand, I'm gonna praise. 'Cause I count on one thing, the same God that never fails will not fail me now, will not fail me now in the waiting. The same God who's never late is working all things out. You're working all things out. Yes, I will your faithfulness, your faithfulness. I'm still in your hands. This is my confidence. You've never failed. Promise still stands. Great is your faithfulness, your faithfulness. I'm still in your hands. This is my confidence. You'll never fail me yet. Oh, he's never failed us yet. And I never will forget. And you never failed me yet. And I never will forget. Amen. You can be seated.
So many of us are wanting God to move a mountain, but we sit here kind of passively about it. We don't ask him for it. We don't thank him in advance for the mountain he's going to move. We just wallow in self-pity, hoping that maybe God will catch on that we need him to do something. And as we were singing those words, I thought about all the mountains he has moved on my behalf. But it took my heart aligning with his in order for it to happen. It took me surrendering and admitting that I needed him in my life in order for those mountains to move. So let's take this time and surrender. Let's give him the mountain. Let's give him the shovel. Let's give him the toothpick we've been digging at it with, and trust the one that can just pick it up and move it. Stop holding on to the things that he is wanting to do for you. And this isn't prosperity gospel stuff. I'm not saying that if you ask, he's going to just give it to you, but I'm saying you have to surrender in order to see him move in your life. This place right here is an altar. It's a place for you to go and leave all of that at his feet, to admit and to tell him that you trust him, that you believe that he is there for you. Let's go before our Father who wants to move in your life. If you're at home, I welcome you to join in this prayer, to sit at your table, to kneel at your couch, or lay on your floor in full surrender of the God who loves you. And again, if you're in this room and you want to take advantage of this place, please move forward and do so. Let's go before our Father. God, I know that there are so many things that we have needed, but we sit here holding on to it, pretending like for some reason we can fix it, pretending like for some reason we can handle whatever it is that the world or the enemy has thrown at us. But God, in this moment, we want to admit that we need you. God, we surrender these things to you. We ask that you would take them and move. Not because you are a genie who does what we ask, but because you are a God who loves us. And whatever way you move, God, however it is that you move, we want to thank you in advance for that. God, we want to thank you for the work that you will do, whether it's growing us and saying that mountain needs to stay, or whether it means moving that mountain and pushing us into what it is you have next. God, will you be the center of all things? Will you be the person that we put our trust and our hope in? Because it is only through you and the work of your cross that we are able to be here and to be in surrender. Will you take these things and work them for the good of those who love you? It is in your holy name we pray. Amen.
Good morning, everyone. This is week 4 of Mike with Mike, so I'm still trying to do better. First thing I just want to say, looking out over everyone this morning, is how great I feel and I know the rest of us feel because this room's filling up. Slowly but surely. I know everyone at home also has been part of that, but this is great, and I'm going to stop talking about it before I get a little emotional because it's great seeing everyone here. Great things happening. Yesterday, John and the team, 68 people that we touched, most with turkeys and meals. Everyone else was just meals. But you want to see people get excited. They were lined up at 9:15. We were done about the time we were supposed to get started. That's how crazy it was. But it's all because we're doing what we say we're doing. We're overflowing into 111 South, and that's what we prayed for, and that's what's happening, just like we planned, and just like he planned for us to be here to do that. So thank everyone. The next thing I want to say is every request that I make to my family will now be up here on the stage, because it seems like when I'm up here, everybody listens to me. So reoccurring giving. Thanks to everyone who's participating, can participate, anybody who still wants to participate. Zoe is still available to help you on the computer if that's your reason. But it's already helping us, and we can already see the increase that it's helping us do what we're doing. So thanks to everyone who's made that move. The only other thing I'm going to say is let's not forget to eat chili tonight. It's going to be cool enough, and I think everybody's made enough. I know a couple of us have made plenty, so we're looking forward to everybody. If you've never been here for it, this is it. So it's great. You don't have to vote, and I don't want anybody picking me over Steve. So, but thanks to everyone, and once again, Dexter's already won. He's already won it. Thank you, guys.
Well, good morning. Good morning. We are so excited that you are here with us today and worshiping with us. How many of you are excited that we no longer have any survival challenges? A few of you. So we are starting a new series today. We're so excited about it. It is called Thanksgiving Thief. Because let's be real, this time of year is hard, right? It is hard. As much as we want to pretend like we are excited and that we're going to give thanks and everything's good, deep down inside of us, a little bit of envy lives and breeds and grows during this season. And so we're going to take a look at this idea of being devoted to thankfulness. See, we sit around the table declaring on Thanksgiving Day what we are thankful for. And we spend one day laughing, eating, being with our family. We post in November every day what we're thankful for. But deep down inside, that's not how we feel. It's a persona. It's something that we put forward, and it's not real. In fact, this holiday season is known actually for more stress, grief, envy, and depression than it is for joy, thankfulness, and hope. But we're going to take a look at a way to shift that, because we're all about being counterculture here, right? We're all about doing it differently and doing what God has asked us to do. And so we're going to shift our perspective. The day after Thanksgiving, it always amazes me. We spend the day saying thank you, here's everything we're thankful for, and then we go out and fight for things in the Black Friday sale, right? I've never really understood this. Even as somebody who has participated, I am not saying that you shouldn't or anything like that. I'm just saying it's baffled me. I remember growing up and hearing stories about people being trampled for a toy, for a Furby. How many of you remember when Furby originally came out? Yeah. Being trampled for a toy, or fights breaking out just after we said, hey, thanks for everything I got. Makes no sense. Gabriel's upset about it too. Like, it makes no sense, right? Like, what in the world is happening? And many people go into debt trying to get the newest, coolest thing and keep up with the Joneses or their family members just because things are on sale. Like, this is something, Mom, if you're watching, just, I love you. But, like, we've tried to explain this to my mom. Just because it's on sale doesn't mean you have to buy it. Or, if I buy 5, then I get a discount. Yeah, but you didn't need the 5 to begin with. Like, this doesn't make any sense. I'm going to get in so much trouble for that, you guys. Like, I'm going to get a call. I'm surprised my phone isn't blowing up already. Give it a minute. Right? But come on, it's true. We're just all about the sale. It's on sale, so we got to have it. Last week, I talked about my cousin Jen, right, who I grew up wishing I was like her. In fact, I used the word jealous, right? I was jealous of her my entire growing up time. But really, it was envy. It was really, truly envy. See, I remember being in middle school, and these shoes called Roos were super popular. Anybody have Roos? Was that only a northern thing? Maybe? Okay, I don't know. There was the kangaroos, okay, and they were so popular. Oh, some of you are like, oh, okay, I remember them now. Yeah. Okay, so I was so excited. Now, I grew up in a town that was a little, it was little. It was a town of 10,000 in northern Wisconsin, and trends got to us a little bit late. But finally, I got a pair of hot pink Roos. You guys, I was flying high. I thought I was the coolest person on the planet. They were so awesome. I had them well into my 20s. I loved these shoes. I loved them. And I was so excited because my cousin Jen had everything, right? Like, in my perception, she had everything. And so every year after Thanksgiving, we would go with my Aunt Pam and my cousin Jen and all my other aunts and uncles, and we would go to Eau Claire, which was an hour away, bigger town, and we would go shopping. And I was so excited to show off my Roos to Jen. So excited. I'd casually walk through the aisle, look at my shoes, right? So excited to show off my shoes. And we were sitting around the lunch table one day, and she goes, those are so out of style. Oh, so disappointed, you guys. I deflated right then and there. Like, I've never been the cool kid, but I was so excited to finally have cool shoes, right? I couldn't fit into the cool clothes, so I needed the cool shoes. I was so disappointed. And her and her friend just kept making fun of me the entire time. They'd laugh at me and make fun of how I didn't know what was popular or trendy. No, I lived in northern Wisconsin. We wore Carhartt before Carhartt was cool. Like, it was necessity. It wasn't because it was cool, right? Actually, I didn't wear Carhartt. That was way too expensive. I didn't wear that stuff. And so I was deflated. In fact, I went home and I put those shoes in my closet and didn't wear them for a very long time. I really regret that now. Really regret that now. I think it was years before I actually wore them again. I was so upset that I wasn't cool enough, I wasn't pretty enough. I constantly was missing the fact that at least I had shoes to put on. I was constantly missing the fact that my parents had sacrificed a whole lot to get me those shoes, whether they were out of season or not. Out of season Gucci is still Gucci, right? Like, come on. I was so missing the point. I was jealous. I was envious. It wasn't until I was much older that I really learned that envy was the true emotion. Let's take a look at this video and find out what the difference is between jealousy and envy.
Jealousy involves 3 parties. So usually it's the fear of losing something that you share between the two with a third party. So jealousy often describes relationships where you're afraid that you'll lose your partner's love to some other person in the mix. So you're afraid of losing something. So the key difference is number and sense of loss. Envy is between 2 people, and both can range on a spectrum, but envy is simply you see there's a discrepancy between what you have and what this other person has. You want what this other person has, and at the same time you feel both inferior because you don't have it, and you feel sort of these hostile emotions like anger and a bit of resentment that this person has it and you don't. So it can range all the way from as benign as admiration, which there's nothing wrong with, to very malicious envy where you want what the person has and you'd be very willing to destroy what this person has if you can't enjoy it.
All right, so the difference of envy and jealousy. I was envious of my cousin, and it's proof because I hit her over the head with the oar eventually, right? Like, it is proof. She's fine. She survived. She drove here last week. It's fine. All right. But jealousy is an unpleasant suspicion or apprehension of a rivalship towards someone else. So usually it's your fear of losing them. You feel like they're giving more attention or things to other people. It may, or even be to other things. You may be jealous that your spouse plays the Xbox all the time or spends all their time at work or those kind of things. But envy is resenting God's goodness towards others and ignoring his goodness towards us. I'm going to say that again. Envy is resenting God's goodness towards others and ignoring his goodness towards us. Sound a little familiar? Yeah. See, I was so upset about Jen making fun of my shoes that I didn't think about the fact that mom and dad had sacrificed. I didn't think about the fact that in my town, those were cool. It didn't matter if they weren't too cool in Chicago, Illinois, or Rockford, Illinois, where she was from. That didn't matter. What mattered is they were cool to me because my mom had sacrificed to get me those expensive shoes. Instead, I was ungrateful and I didn't wear them for a while, forgot about them, was embarrassed by them. Now, at some point, I got over it, right? And I wore the heck out of those things. The only reason I don't still have them is because they're lost in a mud pit somewhere. Like, I have no idea where they really are. The envy. We want what someone else has because we're so focused on what we are missing out on rather than what we are receiving from God. We don't experience his joy. We miss out on the beautiful moments, the things that he is blessing us with, the opportunities that he is bringing for us because we're constantly looking to see if the grass is greener on the other side. There are many stories in the Bible that talk about this idea of envy, but one of my favorites is the story of the prodigal son. See, we often look at this from a different perspective. We often look at it from the dad or the brother who ran away. Or we bash the brother who stayed. But we want to take a little different look at this today. It had been a normal day just like any other. His brother had been gone for some time now. Good. He had caused so much strife in our family that I can't even believe mom and dad cared. See, mom and dad were always worried about him, wondering where he was, what he was doing, who he was with. He couldn't for the life of him figure out why they cared. He essentially told his father that he would rather he be dead when he came to ask for money. To think he wanted to inherit his father's stuff, his money, before his father had passed. Who does that? And here he sat working hard every day, helping mom and dad, doing what they asked of him, but yet they gave his brother everything. That brother of his who never worked a day in his life, that brother of his who didn't care about his family. Last he heard, that brother, if you could call him that, was partying it up in a town over. The crops were starting to look worse and worse. A famine was coming. It looked like it was going to be hard to get food. Too bad for the brother who wasn't living on the farm anymore. His money wasn't going to buy him food when there was none. He hoped he'd have to eat with the pigs. Hoped he'd starve. He was worthless anyway. What did it matter? He continued to work, digging in the fields, fixing the fences, when he heard his father yell, "It's him! It's him! He's home! My son has come home! Get the cow ready! Get everything ready! Your brother is home! Today is a good day! We will be happy again! We can celebrate!" The brother looked off into the distance where his father was running and thought, "Are you kidding me? He's back? Who cares? And why in the world should any of us care? Why do you care about it? Did he really just say that we could be happy again? Did he forget about the worthless brother who put us through all this? Did he forget about the crying that mom did every single night? Did he forget about wondering and worrying about where he was all the time? Did he forget about paying that man to go and find him and that man ran off with all of our money? Why in the world would my mom and dad care about a worthless brother who is back? And look, he's hugging him. He hasn't hugged me. And now a feast? A feast for what? Why in the world would we give this fool a feast? He got what he wanted and he squandered it. It's his fault. Why has he forgiven him for everything? Oh, now he's given him his best robe. What is happening? Rings and sandals, all the best for a brother who hasn't worked a day in his life? Why would my father bless him? Why does he get all of these things? I work hard. I do what I'm supposed to do. I do what's asked of me. Why don't I have everything? The father heard the grumbling and came over. Son, he said, what is wrong? Why are you upset? Everything I have is yours. You have never wanted for anything. You have a roof over your head. You have a good job. You are well fed. Herd is yours, all because I have blessed you too. Don't be envious of your brother. Celebrate him today. Be glad that he is found after being lost. I think there's so much to learn from this story. See, we often look, like I said, at the brother that comes home, or we look at the father and see that he has loved his son, but we often don't look at the one brother from an envious standpoint. We often go, he's horrible, he's a bad brother. Why? I can't believe he would do that. But when I started to look at the story like this, I realized I am the brother. The brother struggled with envy. He struggled with the idea that his brother would deserve anything over him. See, it's easy to have blinders on and not see the blessings that come our way. We look constantly towards others, seeing things that they get instead of being grateful for the things we have. Has anybody done that? Yeah. And I've come to learn it's a tactic of the enemy. That's all it is. It's just the enemy driving wedges. John 10:10, the thief comes to kill, steal, and destroy. But I, Jesus, have come that they may have life and have it to the full. The thief is envy that steals, kills, and destroys. It rips us apart at every turn. It rips us apart, making us feel like we have nothing. It steals our joy, steals our happiness, and robs us of the life that God has for us. Yet we focus on it so much. We know we're miserable in it. We know that we are not happy in this life, yet it seems like it's the only emotion that drives the bus. When we want what someone else has, we miss out on God's plan for us. We don't experience his joy, his love, his happiness. We let the enemy rob us, and therefore we are robbing ourselves. Now, we can't instantly become thankful, right? We can't instantly go, okay, Pastor Liz, I heard you, I got you, and now today I'm going to be thankful. Because 10 minutes down the road, you're going to become envious again. It's just nature. It takes some time. We can't just leave here today and say, I'm going to be a thankful person, because it takes time to undo years of envy. We have to make a practice, a habit. It takes 21 days to make a habit. And so we have to start a new habit. You can have a thankfulness journal. You can finally use Facebook for something good for once. I still hate you guys. I'm like so close to getting off Facebook. It drives me crazy. But we can use it for good for once. We can start putting what we are thankful for on our statuses. We can write it on our mirror. You can participate in responding to your own complaining. I had to do this yesterday. Zoe and I were driving in the car, and we were driving to drop a puppy off, and I started to complain because it's my nature. I'm negative. I really am. Some of you wouldn't believe that, but I am. I'm a negative person. And so I had to start talking about positive things. I had to negate all of the negative that I was feeling. I had to start responding to my own hate with things that I'm thankful for, things that are good. You can practice responding to it by finding ways to express what you're thankful for. And it's hard because it's easy to complain. It's easy to be negative. It's easy to say what we don't like because it's easy to gossip, right? It's easy to sit there and talk about the things we hate together because when we talk about the things we like together, it's a 2-second conversation, right? We can rage for hours about somebody. I do it about Scott all the time, you guys. Not really. Sometimes. But we can talk horrible about somebody for hours, but when we talk about how good they are, it's like, oh yeah, he did a good job. I got nothing else. Right? Like it's nature. But we can start to change our habit. Studies show that it takes 7 nice things to shift your brain from the negative and undo its effects. 7 nice things for every 1 negative thing. Does that tell you how much damage 1 negative thing does? 1 envious thought can ruin you. It takes a lot to shift our perspective. The prodigal son was miserable. He lived his life envious of his brother, focused so much on what his brother had over what he had, that he didn't realize that he had been given just as much. Did he really want the life his brother had? No, he really didn't. He really didn't want the handouts. He really didn't want this life that was living freely. But he hated to see his brother get anything that he didn't have. He worried so much about what his brother was getting, wanting his brother to be miserable, suffering, and literally wishing his brother would die, that he couldn't look at his own life and see that God had blessed him beyond measure. 1 Thessalonians 5:18, give thanks in all circumstances, for this is God's will for you in Christ. We often can't see the full picture. We want to, and we often pretend like God and that we can see the full picture, but really we know that God is the only one who sees everything, right? And in other people's lives, we think that we know what's going on. They seem to have everything together. They seem to have whatever I want, and so it's not fair. But we don't see the long road that took them to get there. We don't see the things that they worked hard for, that they sacrificed for. We just want it instantly. We fight and we get angry, but God calls us to give thanks in every situation, to find something to be thankful for, to shift our perspective, because we trust that He is at work in our lives and in the lives of others. See, this is what it really comes down to, you guys. Envy is a lack of trust in God. That's all it is. It is a lack of trust in God. It's a lack of trust that He is providing for you. It's a lack of trust that He loves you and that He is who He says He is. Romans 8:28, and we know that all things God works for the good of those who love Him, who have been called according to His purpose. We've all been called according to His purpose. Therefore, all things are working for the good of us who love Him. Trust in Him. Believe that He is working for you, that He will move that mountain, that He will do what He has asked, or that He will do what you have asked Him to do if it works for your good. Stop looking over your shoulder across the street next door at what others have, and start looking at your own front door, at what God has done for you. I think during a season of thankfulness, we forget this more than ever. And so we're going to take some time this morning. I really hope you guys love the children's pastor in me that comes out. I really, really do. If not, somebody tell me. But we're going to take some time this morning, and you can see our chalkboard is erased over here. And so this morning, I want you guys to participate in giving thanks. I want you to take some time writing on this board and giving thanks to God for the things that He has given you. The God who loves you, the God that you can trust in, the God who will do anything for you, and even went so far as to send His Son to die for you. Now, you can write the obvious ones down. That's fine. Sometimes we need to start there. But I really want you to sit for a minute and examine your life. There's going to be some songs playing here in a minute, and I really want you to sit down and examine. Think about those things that you've taken for granted, those things that God has blessed you with that they're just yours. I want you to really sit down and think about a list of things that God has given to you. And if you're online, text them to me, write them in the comments, whatever. We will add these to the board. Text them to somebody in the room. We will get them added. But let's take a moment to shift our perspective, to stop being the other brother who's envious of everything, to stop worrying about what others are getting over you. Let's start looking at the many blessings that God has in our lives. Remember, the enemy comes to kill, steal, and destroy, but God has come to give you life and life to the full. So let's take some time and worship Him through thanks. Let's go ahead and play that music. There is chalk up here. Take some time to worship God in that way.
In the morning you sing over me. receive your mercy. Your faithfulness is clear to see. It's like the sunrise, constant every day. Every breath